not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
What?
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
What?
And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
What? Sit down, baby. It's Mr. Madness, baby. Marbury, Dick Jones, and now they call me Fire.
Okay, so shit, it's been a while since I done came at y'all. And naturally, you know, I like to get on here and I would like to talk about things that are going on with hip hop. There's a lot of stuff going on, you know, with LL and Rakim. They both dropping new albums. The Kendrick and Drake beef is still going on. It's a lot of different things to really talk about and go in the culture, you know. But it's hard to, and because like I've been so indulged into this whole thing with the upcoming election and stuff and everything going on and stuff, from, you know, Trump almost being assassinated to Biden dropping out. And then now we have Kamala Harris, which is supposed to be, you know, the presumed candidate for the Democratic Party. And so that has just taken so much of my interest. This is a big deal to me 8 years ago, then 4 years ago, going into the pandemic. And what's wild to me now is that I'm still seeing the same thing, mainly out of black people, that there's just no evolving. There's no updating information. There's no learning from the past. The first thing I want to say to everybody, no, not even to everybody, to black people who are already making this like it's some kind of big race thing and, oh, I'm with her. And like, yo, Kamala Harris is not even black. So this isn't a black issue at all. This is not Obama, none of that. This isn't a black issue at all. Kamala Harris don't identify as black, and the only time she even leans into it is when she's pandering. Outside of that, no, she's Indian. She was listed as first Indian senator or what, like she's never been black until it was time to get the black vote. So to everybody out there, y'all throwing out the coon term and all this different shit and trying to be blacker than black and all that. Like, this is not that. This is not a black issue at all. This is about what's best for the country. What black people have to realize is that there are bigger issues at play. And the main thing that I always get when I speak on these issues, and, you know, we're talking about Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Harris, is that black people seem to have all these lists and reasons that are pretty much built off of mainstream narrative of why they don't want to vote for Trump, but then nobody could give me a reason why they would vote for Harris besides the fact that she's supposedly black and that she's a woman. And that takes me back to 4 years ago, or actually, if you really want to rewind it, this takes me back to 16 years ago, and I'm guilty of it. I voted for Obama just because he was black, and that was the biggest fucking mistake that we could have made. Was just voting for him because he was black, and then you get him in here for 8 years, and he doesn't do anything to help black people along the way at all. Kamala Harris is a repeat of the same thing. She has said out of her mouth she ain't doing nothing for black people. Same way Obama did. Black people are so in this lane. You could teach them to hate somebody, and they could get so stuck and hooked on a narrative that becomes anybody but him, anybody but Trump. And nobody's focused on anything that involves our real progress. And then you have a thing where you have a lot of guys and shit that just really won't grab their nuts on this. And y'all following your women to the polls and y'all buying into all this narrative and, oh, I'm with her and all this commercialization of it. And it's really bigger than that. We just seen 4 years ago. There's no way that anybody has been alive the last 4 years, whether you voted for Biden, whether you hate Trump, whatever you got going on. There's no way you've been here the last 4 years and you have not witnessed and felt the impact like no other time in history of Biden step by step, day by day, ruining the country. There's no way. Miss me with all the racism talk and whatever the little feminist talking points and all that. This country, since Biden took office, took an immediate downslide, and it has not stopped. And World War III
Can legitimately kick off.
any day now. Like that's our reality. And it's like people forget this. And it's just wow, we don't learn anything from our voting patterns to just being informed. At least make it informed. Like if you're gonna vote for somebody, and so it's bad enough that a lot of you niggas talk like, oh man, like you too cool to vote and whatever the fuck, then shut the hell up. You ain't got an opinion anyways. But if you are gonna vote, then at least make the most informed decision. And the thing that's scary to me is that people aren't making an informed decision. They're really thinking she's black and she's a woman and we need a first woman president. And that's a whole nother topic. And I don't care who I offend. I'm not voting for anything with the vagina to run the country and to be the leader of the free world. That shit is just not happening. That's not a smart choice at all by default.
Misogyny.
But benefit of the doubt or what, trying to be fair and inclusive. Like, nah.
Get the
And
fuck
then it
out
ain't
my
just
face
nah,
with that
but then it's the woman that you guys choose. And this is the problem. You guys don't pay attention to the track record. Trump is labeled this big racist, and people have their reason. They always bring up the case with the Central Park Five. And even with that, I'd say, hey, if you go back then to that time and you're talking about people and a country that's always been divided amongst racial lines. And everybody thought them motherfuckers was guilty. So it's like, man, any white person any politician, whoever, like everybody thought them dudes was guilty. So it's like, what did you expect people to think then? People was really like that story really captivated people at that time. So to go back in hindsight and think, oh, because we found out in the future that okay, they were innocent and all this and the bitch lied. It's like, man, come on. It's like it's that typical Democratic way of like stirring the pot and create a narrative, and then like people are not really thinking on these things. There was another instance where he had something with not letting black people stay in his hotel and shit, and it's just like, man, I'm sorry. But
no.
niggas bring a certain type of crowd. And that's just what it is. I mean, black people, we want to be appeased and we want to be equal and we want to be tolerated and we want to be accepted. But then at the same time, we want to be accepted and tolerated and allowed on our terms. And most of the time, a lot of us do not provide or add to a good environment. So, I mean, it's just a lot to take into account when you guys are harping on these narratives. You switch over to Kamala Harris because everybody is so scared of racism. You hop over on Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. They have a career. That means it has been their life purpose to completely fuck over black people, black and brown people. You can look it up. It doesn't have to be a fun narrative. It doesn't have to be a manipulated clip or anything. If you're voting and you're so Democratic left side, it's stuff that you can look up yourself if you care to. The problem is that nobody cares to. And so this is the same thing that we're running into again, like we did when we had the 2020 face off with Biden and everything, and people are voting with the mentality, anybody but him. And we've been paying for that for the last 4 years. And I think that's probably why maybe I'm just so disturbed. I'm kind of out of it. I can't get up on here and do the content and everything that I want to do because it's bigger shit at hand, and it's, it's a lot more just going on. And like these next 4 months is really important, man. And like people really don't get it. It's crazy to me. Like, how much worse does things have to get? I'm not understanding. Like, I mean, I know whatever the American spirit, like we supposed to have resolve and all that, but damn, like Americans got some serious tolerance. It's like long as y'all can be out here butt fucking and getting married and getting your whatever your welfare checks or whatever. It's like y'all don't give a fuck about anything. But what about a chance at the American dream, or just being able to live comfortably and not having to worry about everything day to day, not having to worry about groceries and stuff skyrocketing for the average person. Remember when gas was under $3? Now, for people with money and stuff, I mean, in a sense, it really don't matter as much, but everybody is not the 1%. So it's like it's a lot of things where I'm surprised that like people in the middle to the bottom, like y'all not considering when y'all going to the polls. Y'all still clicked up over this. And it doesn't even matter. It's a Democratic, Republican, or anything. It doesn't matter. You have to vote
What's best for you.
because when you're voting for these different parties and their agendas, like, yo, it's not going to serve you well in the long term. And I just don't know how much more of this that we can take. Just everything that we've lost over the last 4 years for just nothing. And then all this just to monger more hate, more fear. We're facing war. They bringing back the draft. There's all types of crazy shit. Like y'all act like 2020 to about 2020 to 2022. Y'all act like y'all don't remember this administration taking away your freedom, taking away your jobs and your means, and then turning you all into test subjects for an untested drug. How do y'all forget that? We have been under a terrorist rule for the last 4 years. And you talking about you gonna vote the bitch in that seconded? Like, come on, man. Like, y'all can't be real. I'm not saying that you gotta like whoever, but y'all just gotta be informed. And you can't be so caught up in your emotion to the point to where the truth ain't even acceptable to you anymore. Because most of you are just defending your ignorance at this point, and it's all out here. Kamala Harris is not it. She was never it for the vice president. She damn sure not it to run the country. She get in, we're fucking done. I don't even know what the hell we gonna do or what I'm gonna do. But man, I don't know. This is bigger than all that. I think this is deeper on a lot of levels. The more that I really, dive into it and everything, like I think there's something really real going on here. This is like a spiritual thing. Uh just everything, like every aspect, like we're really battling something here. And it seems like certain people get it, but too many still don't. And it's really scary coming up because it'll take nothing for, and we've already seen it with Biden. It'll take nothing for people to just galvanize just for the simple fact, just to say anybody but him. It'll take nothing for them to stop at nothing to cheat the election. They got so much bullshit now where you can vote early, like just weird shit that just shouldn't be allowed. That doesn't ensure a good, honest, and fair election. Like there's something at play that we're really against here, and I just think that more people don't even realize that they're really on the wrong side of things. But yeah, I just had to get that off of my chest. You guys, as always, man, I appreciate y'all really rocking out with me these last couple of months, helping my channel grow. You know what it is. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I'm on here giving y'all that grease. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.